to Thanks Academy, podcast where I watch all the Best Picture winners randomly with random friends in random order, the friends and the pictures. I explained that very well. I'm your host, Karina Magyar, and today my random friend is...
Melody Shifflet.
Oh my god!
Hi! Oh my god, he just got here!
Oh, it's fun how people just turn up like that when you're not...
Boom!
In a visual medium. Today, the movie we're going to watch is Around the World in 80 Days,
yes,
which won the Best Picture in 1956 or 7.
Is it 56 or 7?
It won it for 1956.
Oh,
and
right.
It won it in 1950. I haven't decided which way to go. I guess you're supposed to say the year it came out, right?
Well, the year it came out would be 56, and I guess
so it's
then
called
it's
1956.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So were you alive in 1956?
No. Yeah, sadly. Or not sadly. It probably sucked to be a lady in general.
I thought you were going to say old now.
Both.
Yeah,
both.
An old lady now.
Ew, I would have been married. Ugh.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Let's not wish that on anybody.
I would have been married or like a shitty waitress.
Mm.
I don't know.
Maybe
Probably
both.
either one. Yeah.
That happened back then.
Receptionist at best.
Yeah, men were desperate. They'd marry. Wait, did you watch the remake of this? They remade it like a couple. Disney made a remake like 3 or 4 years. I didn't either. I knew Jackie Chan was in it, but when I looked it up again, it turns out it wasn't technically a Jackie Chan movie. It was just he was the only person. They had like 90 people in it, and he was the only person I remembered. So I thought of this as a Jackie Chan movie that was made in the 50s.
Was he billed like as like a large character?
So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tried to do as little research as possible.
Yeah. It looks like they're going in a hot air balloon, so that's exciting.
It's called an action and adventure, so that hot air balloon's probably going to get into some trouble.
Yeah. I mean, it would be weird if it was like a drama or a comedy and shot in a hot air balloon, you know?
How can this
a thriller, maybe? I'm in a hot air balloon.
Like an Agatha Christie murder mystery in a balloon basket?
Oh my god, if you're stuck with a murder in a balloon basket.
So easy to solve.
Yeah, like I saw you do it. Yeah. So like...
you can't turn the lights out. It's a hot air balloon.
There's fire.
Right above our heads. Illuminating everything quite clearly.
So I wonder if I guess the point is to just go around the world and not stop?
I guess. I mean, in 1956, 80 days was pretty lenient.
Yeah.
I don't think air travel was exactly what it is today, but I still think you could have done it in, 2 days.
Yeah, this whole hot air balloon thing seems unnecessary. But, I mean, who knows when it's set, though? Because I thought there was, like, some guy who flew around the world, but I don't know about a hot air balloon.
I want to say this is based on a book.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Jules Verne book, but I think that's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which is a different challenge.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, that's different. That's more depth than it is circumference. Or
definitely, less balloon-based, for sure.
Yeah, less balloon-based.
So, okay, all I know about this movie is what the title says it's about, and that I think, and I might be getting confused with It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, but I think the whole point of this movie was to shove as many cameos at us as possible.
Oh.
But they're 1956 cameos, so I don't know if you or I
can identify these people.
We'll know what the fuck is, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wonder if, I was like, what if they do like a clapping thing where they're like, yay, so-and-so's here.
Like on a sitcom, maybe they'll hold for it, like the audience was going to clap, and that's how we'll know somebody important just walked on the screen.
Yeah. I think you can sometimes tell, though, like by the way something is shot, like somebody turns around and it's like a big deal.
Right. Or they start with their shoes. And then slowly go up.
And then slowly pan up. Yeah, for sure.
They still do that.
We can
nowadays.
Guess who they are that way.
And criticize their footwear.
That's right. Yeah, speaking of who starts like that, I guess it would be weird on the camera to look at a face and then feet and then face, because that's more normal.
That'd be a very weird character.
Like
they'll
just
start
like,
with a close-up on their face and then slowly pan down their body to the shoes.
Yeah.
Oh!
And you're like, oh.
It's Robert De Niro's feet. Now I see.
Yeah.
Didn't recognize him from the face.
Oh, hey! I guess if you were like a foot model, maybe that's what...
Yeah.
Like a foot fetish model being like, oh! Veronica!
The world must look so different to them. To foot models.
Foot fetishists?
Foot fetishists and the models who serve them. Must all live in a separate world.
Yeah. I mean, because I guess you've always got to be concerned about where you're walking.
Yes.
And you're probably always thinking about...
Good advice for anyone.
Yeah. You got to be overly concerned, right? If you're like, oh, I can't walk on the sidewalk for that long because you got to protect the investments, you know?
I can't come to your house. The terrain is too rough.
Yeah.
You really need to pay.
Mama's got to hustle this week, so I will not be walking on gravel.
Yeah. You need to tear up that tree because its roots broke up the sidewalk and I'm not taking that risk.
The beach? I'm not going to the beach. I have so much work to do. My feet. I have so much footwork to do.
God, I hope this is a foot movie. I hope there's a lot of feet in this to justify our whole conversation.
Yeah.
So what I'm nervous about, this is something I'm also like worried about. Like, there's a reason I haven't seen these movies. Because I try not to watch movies that I know will upset me. And movies from this era, I'm always a little nervous about unless I do lots of research because there can be a lot of bad stuff in them, like racism and sexism.
Yeah.
And given that they're going to go around the world... You see where I'm going with this.
Right.
I'm afraid we're going to see some pretty horrific stuff. Maybe it'll pay off with good feet.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get some foot stuff too. You know, a little honey and vinegar, sort of thing.
Sometimes you pay for the racism with the foot stuff. All right. Well, let's go ahead and watch it. We're going to watch... Was that enough time talking, do you think, for a podcast?
Sure.
It's a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
We need to
strap in, dude. Let's get going, you know?
By the way, if you're just tuning in for the first time, you don't have to watch a 3-hour movie with us. I mean, I am going to fast forward it for you. But Melody and I are going to watch.
Yeah. We're dedicated. We're doing this for you. So so you don't have to.
All right, here we go. Around the World in 80 Days.
Jules Verne wrote many books.
Oh, nailed it.
Soaring imagination print.
Wow, he pissed off a wild animal. Cool.
Let's see what a funny guy does. What the hell are we watching?
I don't know. It's like We Are the World or some shit.
It's like someone's slideshow from their vacation.
Yeah, kinda.
Except they were casually racist everywhere in the world on their vacation.
Right. Or it's like, it's as if someone, thought of the first 3 things about every country that they could.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think of when you think of China? Those boats, and opium dens, and the guy with the long braid. All right, put those in there. And
and somehow Passport has to find
put it in.
Oh shit.
India.
Okay.
Elephants, probably setting women on fire, and...
They just made that shit up, though. Just is that the Amazon? I don't know. It sounds like India.
Yeah, some shit like that.
So to catch everybody up, it's a 3-hour movie, which was not appropriate.
We don't pick the academies.
No,
we don't.
But at 2 hours in, they gave us an intermission.
Right.
So here we are at the intermission, and here's what's happened so far.
Yeah.
Rich banker guy. Well, he's not a banker guy. He just hangs with bankers. He robbed a bank.
Right.
Of 50,000 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And he bet them that he could get around them. They don't know.
What does he do, though?
I think he's just a bank robber.
He's just a fancy man?
Yeah, they're all he's mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he bets everybody he can go around the world in 80 days. That's the title. And they're like, no fucking way, we're British. Oh, by the way, this movie is so British. Oh, it's so British. It hurts. He hires a little Spanish-French guy.
Yeah. Well, he hires him before. Because his other butler already quit.
All of his butlers quit because he insists...
Because he's really mean.
Well, he's a dick.
Yeah.
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 Anyways, his French-Spanish butler is named Passport.
Yeah. Or Passport, basically.
It's Passport.
It's Passport.
We would call him Passport.
Yeah, it's fine.
And his whole shtick is that he's a matador. And a gymnast.
Yeah, he's a gymnast. Like, during his interview, he tries to, like, climb on this chair and do a handstand, and he's like, whoa, stop.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with being a butler.
That is not his whole shtick, though.
That's not his whole shtick, no.
His whole shtick is...
He's a fuckboy.
He's DTF.
Who does cartwheels.
Yeah. Like, he literally chases every skirt in this movie.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
It's inappropriate.
Yeah.
And it's also, like, the main plot.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like... But he also just doesn't seem to... It's like he doesn't even like any of them, really?
No. He just likes their
conquest.
Outfits. Yes.
Yeah. I guess the whole thing is about conquest, really.
Yeah, but, like, passively. It's like stuff we've already conquested. Let's go through there.
Yeah, yeah.
As quickly as possible.
Right. This will be mine. And this one. The sun never sets on the British Empire.
That's basically the point. And so what they do is, to get around all the shit in Europe that was never part of the British Empire, they take a balloon over that.
Yeah.
And you just see a lot of balloon shots.
Yeah, it's fancy places, you know, that we were supposed to know what they are.
No.
Is it Versailles?
I don't think so.
Okay, I don't know.
There were some castles.
That was my guess.
They were unrecognizable, but maybe in the 1950s they were important.
I'm sure they're nice.
They looked fine. It's a lot of beautiful drone footage.
Yeah, which I'm sure was impressive for the time.
It was so slow.
Beautiful countryside.
So, yeah, you basically...
And then, like, in the balloon, like, navigating that.
Yeah.
You know?
They pulled the snow off the top of the Matterhorn or some shit.
Yeah.
So that kind of cuteness.
Yeah.
They go to the Alps and then they go back to Spain. They land in Spain. Somehow they go through Europe and end up in Spain. For a movie that looks at globes a lot, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Spain's very west of everything else, but...
Well, I guess they needed to, like... get to brown people as soon as they could to make it like exotic.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like
this movie,
Spain. Let's start there, Spain.
This is a movie that is always in a hurry to get to new brown people.
Yeah, like, it's true.
And as soon as it gets there, it'll stop and spend as much time as it can.
Yeah,
showing that our two heroes
are
superior to and can benefit from all those brown people with no effort whatsoever.
What's his name? Phineas is like so underwhelmed by the culture that he's not in shock at all.
No.
He doesn't care. He still wants his potted meats, you know.
And his treacle.
Yeah, his little teacup everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we simply must be going through this fascinating culture. Like, just everywhere he goes, he just wants to leave immediately.
Yeah.
Which is, you know... Is that the lesson?
And every single obstacle that they encounter is solved by the fact that he has money.
Right.
From robbing a bank, but nonetheless.
Well, but also Passport helps them through
Passport
some things.
does the good deeds. He doesn't actually get them out of the country usually.
Oh, that's true.
But he does the good deeds in the country. So they do rescue a white woman who's painted to look like an Indian princess, sort of, kind of.
She was going to be set on fire. Because she was a princess. And the Raja died. Oh, and get this, Passport drags his dead body off of the pyre and puts his clothes on. Like, that isn't totally fucking weird. And then, like, rises or pretends to rise from the dead and, like, freaks everybody out. So now they, like, believe in zombies in this jungle or whatever, you know, just because he wants to, like, fuck a princess. It's weird.
But he doesn't even get up. She falls in love with Phineas because she likes whist and punctuality.
Yeah. You're so fascinating.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, your card game. Yes, I've traveled all over the world and I'm educated and I almost got set on fire, but tell me more about your fucking card game. So interesting.
That's the one conversation she's allowed to have. The rest of the time, she's just staring at the scenery along with the rest of us.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's India. What did we leave out? Oh, they stopped in Egypt, but there wasn't anything for them to do there, so they left real quick.
Yeah, I don't think... Did he get in trouble in Egypt? I think he just... They left really quick.
Yeah, they were like, here's Egypt.
They were like, here's the fez hats.
Yep.
Later.
Yeah, they didn't talk to the Sphinx or anything. They didn't get on a camel, and they've gotten on every fucking animal at this point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was like a 4-hour movie, and they were like, all right, we gotta cut this mummy thing out. Guys, it just is too much. Or he's dragging another dead body out and pretending to be that, because this guy is a little creep.
That's how they consolidated the screenplay. They're like, we're going to take the Amazon sacrifice and the mummy scene and the riding elephants in India scene, and we're going to put them together
into just going to jam all that together.
Really disturbing blackface scene that we can...
I can't really get over that dead body thing. It's like, where did it go?
I don't...
He just readily, dragged it away.
Yeah. With nobody noticing? That's not a gymnast's skill.
It's weird. He's this horny little man with a catfish mustache, and he's readily playing with dead bodies.
Yeah. And he's one of our heroes.
And he's my hero.
And we can't emphasize enough that we've watched 2 hours of movie, and 1.5 hours of those were bullfighting. There was just an endless bullfighting scene.
And the bull was almost a baby.
It was smaller than Passport, He's
pretty short.
Pretty short. Yeah. Gymnast size.
He's a bite-sized little dude.
And this bull is not moving quickly.
This is not a scary bullfight. It was just kind of why are you guys doing this?
It was like when you go to somebody's house and they have a golden retriever and it likes you. So it kind of walks up and rubs against you and kind of nudges you. Or better yet, a herding dog, some sort of cattle dog.
Yeah, they'll just put their forehead on you.
Yeah, just kind of nudge you to the side. That's what the bull was doing.
Yeah.
For an hour and a half.
And he was ooh!
We had to hear the word ole 95,000 times.
Yeah, and he had a whole bull challenge, It was not a short scene.
No!
It was not a short scene.
No.
And then before that, he was what is it, flamenco dancing?
Oh, yeah. The flamenco dancer, I would venture to say, is the best part of the movie so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feet! We got the feet!
We got the feet.
We got a foot treat.
And the guy was kind of hot.
Yeah.
It was not too bad.
And he was a good dancer.
He was very good at his job, unlike everybody else in this movie.
Yeah.
Has been pretty poor at their job.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess Passport's doing a good job.
Technically that cop, I'm not on his side, but he's doing a good job.
He's not giving up.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a cop.
Right.
They figure out that Phineas Fogg, the main character, stole the money from the bank. Well, at least this cop has. And because, things travel slowly, I don't think that's gotten back to the bank yet. But he keeps getting warrants that don't get there in time. It's a chase. It's a very, very slow chase scene, this whole movie.
Yeah.
Very slow. And polite.
Well, I believe I will decide to chase him. I would decide to be chased.
Perhaps I shall accompany him on a steamship for no reason. Yes, I'm going to just travel with you cordially until it is time to arrest you for your crimes against humanity.
I'll be arresting you now, good sir. For crimes against empire.
So the cop is good at his job, although the most effective thing he's done as a cop is give Passport a roofie.
Yeah.
In an opium den.
Right.
And then literally Shanghai him onto the wrong boat.
Yeah.
Where Peter Lorre was the first star that anybody's recognized.
Yeah. He's I failed my boss or master.
Peter Lorre was what are you going to do?
Well, whatever.
Yeah. You should have seen when I was Igor.
No show, no call, huh? These things happen.
We still have an hour left.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing that's keeping me going is that they're in Japan now.
Right.
So the next thing that has to happen is they go to America.
Yeah, and he said they're going to San Francisco.
And then they're going to cross America in the 1870s or 80s, whenever this takes place. Which means we're going to get some really awful stereotypical Native American action. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Probably some cowboys, maybe
some Mexicans. It's got to be 10 times worse.
It's going to get pretty rough here. So without further delay, I think we're going to try to...
I think we should power through.
Stumble through the rest of this. We've enacted the fast forward button rule once, and I think it's going to get more frequent if there's any more fucking bullfighting.
Yeah, that's gotta stop. If they're our ancient tradition of bullfighting, Native American bullfighting, because you probably don't know shit about their practices. No. Jammed all together.
It's going to be like a Native American geisha vampire scene or something.
Yeah, we're what are you guys doing?
All right. Back to work.
All right, back to it. Back to it.
Good enough.
A little obvious, isn't it?
That would not be an electable name these days.
Called it.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Hey.
You fucking creep.
Good
Stop it, you little
conversation.
pervert. Yanking it right there. Ladies talking.
1-900 service.
You can hear your Indian bride servant.
Here, we'll watch it in the background. The movie's finally fucking over.
Yeah,
Woo!
finally. We had to skip a couple scenes. Or fast forward, really, more so.
Yeah, it wasn't we didn't skip anything.
No, I don't think so.
It'd be pretty hard to skip something in this movie. You'd have to skip like an hour at a time.
Yeah, right? Well, and everything is like, I mean, you know, when they're having the scene where they're, you know, murdering Native Americans.
And it doesn't.
We fast forwarded a little bit because it was going on and on and on. And then he ends up, like, tied to a post. And clearly they had captured him, you know, like in classic
we
fashion
just
kind of thing.
need
We
to
don't need
see
to. We don't need to go there
any more
We got it.
racism.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, it was as bad as we feared. Going
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
America, they had a San Francisco was like a rootin' tootin' Wild West scene, I guess.
Yeah, they had like the Can girls, and there was this guy who had like endless switchblades, like just his switchblade after switchblade, and his wife was like kind of a hoe or whatever.
Was it his wife or was it just his hoe?
What's the difference? I don't know. Well, she was reading.
She was reading a book.
She was reading, but she also was like down to fuck.
She
And
was.
He kept on throwing knives at people, but they were like nice switchblades. And then
Marlene
there were-
Dietrich. That's who that was.
Oh.
The person we're talking about. Okay, they're showing us, we're watching the credits now. Frank Sinatra. Now the names we start to recognize.
Yeah, because they're kind of like
Yeah.
matching it with the scenes.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra was playing a piano at one point. I guess that's it.
Yeah. And he was like barely touching the keys.
He turned around once. I think he was there for like an hour
Right.
for his scene.
Probably already on set, like, or already at the studio for some other reason.
Ugh. Anyway, he made it in 80 days, and he didn't rob the bank. He's just a mysterious guy who had a ton of money for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Which really took all the fun out of the fact that it was a slow chase scene.
Yeah. I lost respect for him, honestly.
I know.
I was like, oh, you're like kind of boring.
Wait,
you know?
Buster Keaton?
Yeah. Was that
Who was Buster Keaton?
the carriage driver or something?
Oh, yeah.
That guy
maybe.
who we were like, oh.
He's got to be somebody.
Yeah, where he does that face that's like,
Ooh,
like, yeah. Yeah, it was, you know what? Honestly, though, the pace was a little faster than I anticipated. It wasn't as much of a punishment as I thought it was going to be.
The second half? Or the second third?
Just overall. I mean, because like older
punished.
movies kind of tend to move slower too.
Nothing happened for such long stretches.
That's true.
And really, if you take apart the scenes, nothing happened in them. There was no justification for the entire Spanish sojourn.
Yeah.
I mean, the only place anything happened was in India. And by the way, she, true to form, in the second half after intermission, they stopped putting makeup on her. So she's just a white girl.
Until she gets back to the house and she's like somehow his servant or whatever.
She's like making
and they
tea.
repainted her.
Yes.
Like repainted her more brown and then like put her back in the like traditional clothes that she was wearing to begin with. Like, oh, if you're going to be a servant, then we need to really exaggerate what we're going for here.
But then she's like, hey, you should marry me as long as you're just going to like keep me in your house against my will or whatever.
Let's fuck.
And he was like, sure, even though he was pretty gay the whole movie.
Yeah, and he's still gay.
Yeah, but that's okay because they just want to play whist.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't know to say, "Can I be your beard?"
Right. He only had a mustache.
She wasn't hip to it. She was like, now that you're going to be a little more in the public eye, I think it would be good if people thought you weren't so gay.
So the whole thing is they thought they showed up a day late and that they missed their chance to win the bet. And then they figure out at the last second, international dateline, they made it. And then there was a mad dash at the end. Anyway, so there's this whole thing where when they thought they didn't make it, he's going to marry his Indian bride.
Yeah.
Which sounds weird to say, but that's literally what that is. Mm-hmm. But then the minute he realizes he can still win the bet, he full on ditches her.
Yeah.
To run to the...
Like, she can't even come in the club where he's, like, made the bet.
Yeah,
not
at the
that
end
she
of the
couldn't.
Movie, she sets foot in the club and the British Empire collapses.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like she was going to be ever let in the club, even if they got married.
No, because even though she was very white,
yeah,
she was not British.
And he's still going to ditch her to, like, go do poppers and hang out in CD clubs.
Of course.
Like, or bathhouses.
She should have ended up with Passport. He's the one who saved her ass.
I know.
In the first place.
But, he's also a creep. I could understand getting vibes, like being like, thank you, but... Ugh.
Yeah, there wasn't really any good vibes in this movie, though.
No,
except
from
a flamenco dancer. And those good vibes were only like, spring break style.
I do like I liked that troll. That, like, San Francisco troll.
They run into a cop who kind of looks like...
he's not a cop. He was like... Is he a cop?
Oh, no, he was just a
He was like a campaigner.
Yeah, he's a campaigner for some mayor named Mandaboy.
Yeah, Mandaboy. Boys to men.
And he kind of looks like Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
And at one point, he starts mocking Phineas's British accent, just like flat out troll style.
Yeah. First, he's like
Very
an RPG gatekeeper, like, and who would you vote for, sir? Like, press B. While I say that is just like on and on. But then, he starts talking shit like, oh, you're so British, like short of being like,
He pretty much says that. It's very...
and then they decide they're going to shoot each other.
And they tried, but then that's when the Native Americans showed up and started shooting arrows at all the white people, which was correct. But it was also not portrayed the best way. And of course, the only people who we see die on screen in this otherwise extremely tame movie, where nothing bad really happens, are Native Americans, and it happens constantly. As soon as they start shooting at them, they're dying left and right.
Yeah, and it's really, like, I think it's pretty symbolic that, like, they, those arrows were flying in the windows at a really high frequency. Like, the kind of skill it would take to shoot into a window with an arrow and, like, be lethal, but then they were shooting back out with guns, killing them, shot on sight. And that's just, I don't know, like, it's a perfect symbol for, like, overestimating a threat from brown people and then, like, responding with just extreme violence.
Yeah, there's that part where Passport gets on the roof of the train so that he can go drive it or something. I can't remember the exact point.
Yeah, he's going to engineer or something.
He ends up bailing off. That whole sequence is really confusing. But he gets up on the roof of the train for excitement reasons. And then they're shooting arrows at him, and every single one misses. But every time he shoots anything, of course, at least one Native American dies.
Right, it's part of the whole thing. There was a point even where they're coming on the train and dying, so much so that I thought they probably just did, like, that all in one take.
Yep.
And then chopped it up, like... had like 7 in a row, be like, all right, next, like, come in and die, all right, next,
on
come
a
in,
train,
die, shoot your arrow, come in, die, very good fall.
Yeah, if that doesn't give you, like, concentration camp kind of vibes, like, hey, let's just have the Native Americans pile into this train to die. It was awful. It was really hard to watch, honestly. But you said something really interesting during the movie, I can't remember which half, about like how this whole movie is just white guys benefiting from other people's labor.
Yeah, because he doesn't really do anything to propel himself other than just spend money and buy things from people.
Yeah.
And then even those things are like powered by either poor people or brown people.
Or passport. Who's brown? Who's
and
like
poor.
Exaggeratedly brown and poor.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, even up into like the rescue of the princess, it's like you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
All you said was like, oh, she went to British college. Well, then I'm gonna save her. And then Passport went and did it.
It's funny because there's a part, okay, when they get across from China to San Francisco. No, they get across from New York to London on a steamship that they have to start feeding to itself because they run out of coal.
Right.
And like the only sacrifice he makes in the whole movie is throwing his umbrella in at the very end.
Yeah.
And of course that triumphantly gets them ashore. Whereas everybody else's efforts and completely raped and pillaged possessions. At that point, they literally like tear apart a boat to burn itself.
Well, I thought the funny part was that...
It was somebody's livelihood.
He was like, oh, we have about an hour left of steam. And he was like, and then threw in his umbrella. And then somebody comes in and they're like, land! We see land! So, like, I don't think he really even needed to do that with the umbrella. Like, they probably would have gotten there within the hour, you know?
Right.
So that's, like he unnecessarily burned his umbrella. I thought there was going to be like a divine justice kind of thing of like you spent all your money to destroy this boat and like burned your special umbrella to like prove a point, and your own shenanigans got you in jail and now you don't have any money because of hubris.
Nope.
You know, but no, you still win.
And he didn't even rob the bank, so he wasn't even sticking it to the man.
I
thought if he would rob the bank and then blew all their money.
At least he's more interesting. Yeah.
Blew all their money to rob the bankers of their bet. I was like, okay, well at least he's a Robin Hood type, except he's not really giving to the poor, he's just giving to himself. But still, he's sticking it to the man. But no, he was just a rich guy the whole time.
Yeah. He's just an asshole.
Seriously.
So this movie, Around the World in 80 Days, is about an asshole who exploits other people to make money off of a bet.
So let's see. He steals... Well, he doesn't steal anything. He pays for it all. But he takes the second best balloonist in the world's balloon. Mm-hmm. Some poor family's pet elephant. He just takes it.
Yeah.
Doesn't return it.
Yeah.
It's just gone. He burns up the steamship of somebody who makes their living on steamships. Mm-hmm. What else does he do? He literally keeps taking people's livelihoods away from them.
Yeah. And then throwing money at it as if that's like gonna totally fix it, you know? They still have to rebuild.
Everybody's going away.
He's not going to have a steamship for a while because of you. It doesn't matter how much you gave him. Yeah.
Poor cop had it wrong the whole time because he didn't even have the decency to be the bank robber.
Oh, fuck cops. But no sympathy.
Yeah, on that count, this movie scores well on the fuck cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
fuck them.
The cops don't fare well in this movie, so that's good.
Yeah,
I wish there was more to say about it, but it's a long, slow, pointless journey that I guess we decided if you were in the 1950s and you'd never seen. There's a long preamble, too, that we didn't talk about, where they show an entire movie from the 1930s, it feels like.
Yeah. And
then some rocket footage.
Silent movie.
Probably the only rocket footage at that time of the Earth from space. Mm-hmm. But it's not steady in what we're used to. It's just It's really trippy, actually. Yeah, they just put a 16mm camera on a rocket and it spins around.
I feel like the 13th floor elevators could have, put it... That could be their music video. That's what it looked like.
I got
a little sick. Bro!
So we figured this was just a movie where here's some footage you've never seen before.
And that was, really flooring, probably.
Right, but even it's not like in the 1950s people hadn't been to India or Hong Kong.
No.
I don't understand the point of this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a fantasy or something.
Yeah, I mean...
white man fantasy.
But they don't even, fulfill that many fantasies too much. It's a very tame movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have the conviction of its exploitation. What
do you mean?
Well, Passport's going around being lascivious towards all these women, but he doesn't get any. It's not...
Yeah.
he's unfulfilled the whole time and fine with it, and it's tame. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not an exploitation movie. Mm-hmm. Because nothing gets exploited except for
other people's labor.
Brown people's resources.
Right, yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the titillation. Maybe in 1956 that felt real good to watch.
I mean, yeah, to like think of yourself as like someone who could just go to any part of the world.
And own it.
Yeah. And also be like underwhelmed by it and be like, oh, well anyway, let's move along. I'll be buying your...
I'll be buying your Bengal tiger. 1956 has a lot to answer for. I'm convinced that this was not a good choice.
To do.
There was definitely better movies that came out that year. I'm willing to bet. Maybe not great, but better than this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that would be the first or last time I would disagree with the Best Picture decision.
I really hated this movie, Melody.
I think also the Academy has always been like very inside club and like almost pre-decided.
Do you think all the cameos did it? And all the money they threw at this movie? It's obviously a very expensive movie.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if it was just even worse at that time. And they were like, yeah, you win because you need to. You
spent the most money and you got a high box office and you had a lot of stars in your movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, that's never happened since.
No.
This
is one embarrassment on a clean record.
In a long line of triumphs.
Of artistic excellence.
Yeah, exactly. Crash.
At least it wasn't like...
That's what it is. It's the Crash of 1956. Except instead of being obnoxiously anti-racism, it's obnoxiously pro-racism.
Yeah.
If you want to look at it that way, and I know we'll watch Crash in a later episode at some point, but this is maybe Crash. The only redeeming quality of it is that it was like the anti Around the World in 80 Days.
Yeah, I feel like it's more like an all lives matter thing where it's like just kind of ignorant.
Oh, I'm gonna throw.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. At the end of the movie, the Indian princess, whose name I don't think she gets one.
It's not like that matters.
Yeah. She gets taken to Phineas Fogg's mansion, and she takes one look around and starts dragging it. She's just like, this place is gloomy, and I don't like
depressing,
it. It's depressing. And then he's just like, yeah, it is depressing. And that's just kind of how that movie left me.
Yeah.
That
is depressing.
It's a lot of luscious, gloomy, mostly depressing. Thanks for watching it with me.
Yeah. We should have stopped and do the Chinese circus.
We didn't even watch the Chinese.
We were like, I can't.
As soon as that started, there was a Chinese circus scene.
We were like, oh
no, we couldn't
please
do
stop.
it. We couldn't watch more bronzed white people doing, backflips.
Yeah.
For our supposed entertainment.
But I did it, and
yep.
I think you can always be like, oh, I've seen that, when most people wouldn't endure that, and you look smarter and more cultured, even though it's basically a waste of time.
That is the ruse of this entire podcast, is at the end of it, I'll be able to say, I've seen every Best Picture winner, and it's going to make me sound like an amazing cinephile, like someone who really has studied film history.
Yeah.
But I think in reality, it's going to mean sitting through a whole bunch of bullshit like this.
A bunch of crashes.
Yeah. Well, Melanie, thank you so much for participating.
It was fun.
And thank you, invisible people, for listening.
Yeah.
And don't watch this movie.
Don't. We did it for you.
We did
Accept
this one for
our
you.
gift. Mm-hmm. Just let us do it for you.
Rewatch Crash if you feel like.
If you must.
If you must.
If you must, just fast forward through Crash and be like, okay, I get it.
I feel like that one's shorter.
Yeah.
Subscribe however you want to, and rate us on whatever you can. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.